Old Holland. We don't really hear too much about Old Holland, and I don't see many people swatching them. So today I thought we'd pull up my Old Holland palette and go ahead and take a look. I call this one my Seaside palette, and I have my Saunders Waterford paper all set, and we're going to swatch these up today. Their range consists of 168 colors. They say they make them from the purest pigments for maximum pigmentation. Their binder base is gum arabic and glycerin, and we'll go over the pigment information on each individual one, so stay tuned. Alright, I got all the names labeled. As you can tell, a lot of these pigments are not single pigments. They're not known for their single pigments. They have 3, 4, even 5. I had to write in 2 lanes on these little squares. So let's zoom in and get started. Today we're going to use the Escoda Perla number 8 and see how these paints do with it. And like I said, this is Saunders Waterford hot press paper. First up, we have cadmium red light. All these paints re-wet very easily, extremely pigmented, as you can probably tell there. Let's see if we can get a little variance. They move decently. I have found that these paints don't tend to layer as easily. They tend to lift fairly easily. Alizarin Crimson, PR 177, PV 19, PBR 23. It's like a tongue twister there. It's a very pretty color though. I don't grab for these paints very much. They end up in the back of my paint drawer, and so I thought I'd bring them out. Not many people have them, but maybe there's a color you like in here. Then we have Burgundy, PR 177. Very saturated reds, very transparent as well. I think I'm staining my brush up real good. And then next up we have Royal Purple Lake, PV 42. This is kind of a pinky color. I hope you enjoy these swatching videos. I'm trying to get all the brands, all the palettes that I have out there so that we can go ahead and do our comparisons then of each CAD red light and so forth in our future. And this will give us a nice kind of bank of knowledge in case we want to look back on something. Brilliant Pink, PR 112, PR 122, PW 4. And this is very pastel-y. I try to bring you a couple of brands that maybe you haven't heard of or don't have any colors in, so you can find that perfect color for that perfect palette. Let me scoot this over. And we have Magenta, PR 122. The formulas on each of these colors do feel a little bit different. Like some of them have more of the gum arabic in it. Bright Violet, PV 19, PV23. And when I was writing these out, I skipped one in the in-between, which we'll put at the end. I always have to make a mistake somewhere. I love this color though. Yeah, I've had a harder time layering with these colors overall, but the colors are extremely rich. So if you're a person that likes to paint or urban sketch or something like that, where you're putting down one color, these may work really nicely for you. PB29, French Ultramarine. Pretty classic there. Then we go into Deft, PB23. Nice rich blue color. There are some colors in this line, and they're kind of own concoctions of several different colors that are very unique. Very pretty. Now we have Indigo. And this is PB 15:3, PR 177, and PBK 9. Cobalt, PB 28. Blue Gray. This is kind of one of their unique colors, very pastel-y though. And we have PB 29, PV 23, PBK 7, and PW 4. Very unusual color though. Payne's Gray, PB 29, PBK 9. This Payne's Gray tends not to be extremely blue. It has more of a gray to it. Then we have Manganese, PB 35, PG 50, PB 15. And I have one tube of the real manganese, and this looks very similar. So if you're looking for that good replica of, this is a nice one to try. And now we have Cerulean, PB 35, very, very strong color. Let's see if we can water that down a little bit. These colors are extremely heavy duty pigmentation wise. I almost think you could water them down to half and still have plenty of paint to paint with. We go into turquoise, which is our PB15:3, PG7, PW4. Now they put this long word that starts with SCH at the beginning of some of their colors, and I cannot pronounce it worth anything. So you'll just see the SCH, and this is the green deep, which is PG7. Typical phthalo type color. Very potent. Then we have hookers. Just move that up a little bit. Their hookers is PY42, PG7, and PBK7. It's amazing how each brand feels so different. These almost have a slightly stickier feeling to them. Heavy, like they're weighted almost. Then we go into sap green, which is PY153, PY151, PG7, PY42, and PBK7. Boy, that was a mouthful. It is a pretty color though. Now we have dark olive, which will also be a mouthful. PY129, PBK60, PG7, PBR7, PR101 for our dark olive. Let me know in the comments if there's any brands that I haven't gone through yet that you would like to see. Maybe I can get a few of the colors, give you my opinion on how they feel, how they paint out, if they're highly pigmented, if they're a little gooey or sticky like this brand, or anything of the such. This brand's been in business since 1664, so they deserve the name Old on Old Holland. They are made in Holland, and they are truly known for their oil paints and have done watercolors for quite some time. Yellow green. PY3, PY74, PG36, and PW4. That is a bright one. And let me know if you'd like me to do swatches in any other sort of way. I just tend to keep them really clean, so when we do a tape pull you get a really nice dosage of what color, and then you can always look back at what color it was if you wanted to add that one to your palette. Indian yellow green, PY153, PY151, PR101. This is kind of an unusual color. It's kind of like a chartreuse. Maybe not quite as green as that, warmer. Then we have Cad Lemon, PY35. This is very, almost looks fluorescent. It is so bright. I hope the camera can pick that up so you can see it. Then we have another one of those colors that starts with the SCH. It's a really long word. Yellow light. PY74. And I don't know why they use that long name. You would think if it was like their specialty color or something that they would just call it like Holland this or Old Holland that. All right, let's move this down a little bit. All right, and we're to Ochre Light, PY43. And let me know also if you would like demos with all the palettes that are shown. I know some people don't tend to stay to the end to watch the demos, and just let me know if you like them or not, if we should paint a picture every time we do a palette. We have about 5 more palettes left to go through in my stash, and then we're going to be doing kind of battle of the colors, who's got the best aquamarine and so forth. Naples Red shade. And this one's kind of an unusual one too. It looks kind of pastel-y. PW4, PY53, and PR34. I'm sorry, PO34. And that's kind of an unusual color. Coral Orange. This is a nice, brilliant color. PO67. Very vibrant, potent. Then we have Red Gold, PR102. This is kind of an unusual color for a 102. I think it's very unusual and very transparent. Burnt Sienna, PBR7. This one's very warm and on the orangey side. Then we have Italian Brown Pink, PY42, PR101. I love this one. There's something about the tone to it. Very pretty color. Then we have Burnt Umber, PBR7. Then we got Sepia, PBR7, PBR9. Ivory Black, PBK9. Pretty typical. And then we're going to go to the one that I missed, and that is that long name again that starts with the SCH, Violet, PV19. This is a favorite. I love the PV19s in general. Beautiful. Let's zoom out, have a take a look when they're wet here. So we have a comparison when they start drying up. We'll do a tape pull. We'll go ahead and take a look at them, and I'll tell you a few of my favorites and what I think of Old Holland overall. And here they are, all pretty well dried. I'd like to say that my Escoda came pretty clean, actually. Let me try doing it one more time. Yeah, barely stained from all of that, so that's really nice. And let's take a closer look. Some absolutely beautiful colors. And some of my favorites from this line is the Shun something Violet. I love the Italian brown pink. There's something about it different. And this violet is beautiful. They have this blue gray, which is just kind of a little bit different. It's very smoky type color. And they have some different colors like the Naples red, which would be great for like a beachy type scene. That's why I kind of call this my seaside palette, because it's got these beachy kind of colors, and then it's got a lot of, you know, greens and blues for water. So hopefully maybe you found something that you like, didn't like. Remember, these don't layer perfectly. They tend to kind of rebel a little bit with a lot of layers. So if you like to layer, this might not be the paint for you. But if you like to get your paint very vibrant in one stroke, this may be the paint for you. I really do appreciate you sticking with me to the end. Hopefully I've given you some colors to think about and maybe compare with what you've already have. Thank you again for staying with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to check out the playlist that I'll pop up here now, and maybe you'll find some other palettes that you'd like to look into and other colors. Thank you. Bye-bye.